Let's start the show.
Who's that?
Delivery. That's me.
I wonder what it is. It's my One Piece Edward Newgate figure.
Let's review the figure. But first,
let's go to Shibuya.
it's about a 5-minute walk into the One Piece store. Going up. An original sketch signed by Eiichiro Oda. Cool display. He retails here for 13,800 yen. Ami Ami has him for 11,890. Check it out, they have the upcoming Zoro Past Blue figure on display. Release date is August 2007. Yep, I'm getting that. This is an awesome display. I want to take this home now. Alright, let's get food. I'm hungry. Let's go to Mobo Moga. Alright, I'm having some garlic chicken with butter and soy sauce flavoring. You have your veggies, you have your vegetables, side of veggies. Lettuce with some corn and some, I guess, some little pasta here. And then right here you have a side of potatoes, mashed potatoes. You have some tomato sauce. This is about $13.50, I think. So it's a good value. Mobo Moga in Shibuya. So definitely make your way up here. So savory. Alright, my stomach is all full, so let's get inside and review this figure. The first thing that impressed me about this figure was when I took it out of the box, just how big it was. This box is about 13 inches in height. Now looking at the box, the design is pretty basic. So on this side of the box, you see just images of Edward Newgate. Over here you have the logo. Variable Action Heroes, Edward Newgate. In the back, they show you in the back a preview of the two different heads you can use on this side of the box, you see just the size differential between him and Ace. So now he's out of the box, and you can see he's in these nice plastic shellings. He's in there nice and firm and nice and comfortable. All right, so he's out of the box, out of the package, and let's give him a measure. He stands at about 9 3/4 inches in height, making him, you know, the largest in the variable action heroes One Piece toy line. Okay, on to the paint job. His flesh looks really cool. They used really nice shading to pop out the detail and his muscle tonage. You can see in his chest, his battle scars are nicely shaded with a darker complementary tone to basically make it stand out. Look at the vein work that they put on his left arm. Can you see his veins right there on his bicep? And you can also see some veins on his right bicep right here. So Megahouse did a really great job putting that in there. That's a nice touch, a very subtle touch. And look at the striations in his pectoral muscles. Look at the, just get a closer look at his battle scars. Look at the shading that they used to pop out his obliques and his abdominal muscles. So the paint job on the back is just as good. Look at the shadowing and all the detail that they put into his back muscles. The tattoo looks really cool. Looks just like the tattoo in the comic and in the anime. There's nice shadowing right above his brow, and his eyes are really nicely painted. He has interchangeable heads. So this is the smiling or the grinning face. So the bandana pops off just like this, very easily. So you just flip it off just like that. So taking a closer look at the bandana, it's really nicely painted. As you can see, they use different shades of blacks and like deep grays to bring out the detail. So check it out. See the, I guess the drapery, the wrinkles in the back. And flipping it over, it has this molding that fits the top of his head. So it's easy to apply to both interchangeable heads. Look at how beautiful his sash looks. It looks very fluid. It looks like a real piece of fabric. Almost hard to believe it's made out of plastic. Very nicely sculpted. Very nicely painted as well. The shadows and the features, the highlights and the shadows pop out really nicely. And the sash can move. It's on a ball joint. So let's give it a complete look. Okay, so this is the back of the sash. Looks really nice. So let's take a closer look at his pants. The paint job again, they did a really good job with the painting, the seams in the crotch area, the shading. They used, the overall color is like an olive greenish type, and for shade they used like maybe a grayish purplish to bring out the highlights and darkness. So you can see there are seams that run down the side of his pants, and also down the center there's a seam right there also. So they look like real pants, authentic looking pants. Let me move the sash. And right there too, you see there's a seam right here. You can also see the seams on the inner part of his legs, right here on the right leg, and over here running down the left leg. Look at how nice the drapery and the wrinkles look on the bottom part of his pants where they get tucked into his boot. So again, the back of his leg, looking at the drapery, the wrinkle effects on his pants. His boots are nicely colored too and nicely sculpted. They used some highlights right here on the shin. It gives it like a shine. And on the fold right here. And there's a wrinkle by his ankle. And on, I guess on top of his foot, there's a wrinkle right there. If you can see right here, there's a slight wrinkle. Yeah, there you go. See it? Look at the wrinkles under his ankles. So this is the left boot. This here is the right boot. And again, you can see the wrinkles and the coloring that they used. To change his face is pretty easy. So first you pop off you can pop off his bandana right here. His head is, I think, on a small ball joint. So yeah, you just pop up and you see there's a little mold in there. It fits perfectly into this small, really delicate looking ball joint. Like again, look at how delicate that looks. It's not thick at all. Okay, so now let's see. So putting his new head on, you just pop it right in. Just like this. Yeah, there you go. Let's give him his bandana. No pirate is complete without a bandana. Okay, bam, it's easy. So articulation from top to bottom, let's check it out. Okay, so his head, it's on a ball joint. So his head can swivel. He can look that way. He can look this way. He can't really move up because this part right here, it just bumps into itself. So there's no looking up. He can look down a bit, but that's it. See, it's not much. His arms are on ball joints. So they move up and down. They can move in towards his pecs and kind of outwards, like a flapping motion. His traps come, well, his traps kind of come out, this piece here, and it goes in a bit. There's a joint right here, right there. And that allows for his arm to come further up like that. The bicep is its own piece. It's separated from the elbow. The elbow is held by this little joint here, this big piece here, and it allows for pretty cool movement. His hand is on a ball joint, like I mentioned before. Swivel in or out, just like this. Swivel in, swivel out. His torso is on one ball joint underneath here. I don't want to pop this off. Or actually, no, it's, well, it's hard to tell, but let's take a look. It's close. Okay, so, yeah, it appears to be a ball joint. I don't know if you can see in there. So, it allows for his back to actually come this far. This front area here, you can move pretty much in, not so much to the sides, mainly keeping him straight up or maybe hunched over a bit. And his waist is on a ball joint, so you can move him, twist his legs like this. So let's check out his legs. His legs here, they have pretty good articulation. You can put the sash, move it aside, and his legs come out about that far. And you can see what's in there, the inner workings of his leg. So he can almost do a full split. Check that out. He can almost do a full split. At his knees, you can bend this top part about that far, and taking a closer look in there, that looks like it, yeah, it looks like it's held by a small piece. So Please be real careful when you try to, I guess, bend him at the knees, because it's held by a small piece. The bottom half goes back to his hamstrings, his heel to his hamstring, and about this far out. I guess it extends about that far out. His boots don't swivel where it connects to the pants. It doesn't swivel, but his ankles do, and it's on a ball joint, so his ankles don't turn this way. They don't turn this way, like in a circular motion. They don't, but they do go, I guess, inward about that much. The ball of his foot comes up about that much. That's pretty much it for his articulation. So he comes with a great amount of accessories. The blade is almost 15 inches in length. They did a really good job of painting the blade. Here you can see they use different shades of grays and blacks and some slight blues. Or I guess when light reflects off of it, like you can just see how the light dances off of it, you get different tones. Nice metallic paint job. Over here you also have like a metallic gold paint job on this part of the blade here, the part that holds the blade. Look at the or that in scripture, that design in there. It looks really nice. Nicely painted, nicely sculpted too. And then you have like kind of like a metallic red, and you have this like swirl effect. Kind of looks like a candy cane. At the very end right here you have this little like pouch, and you have to remove it like this. Just pop it off nice and gently, and the hand slides in here. So these hands right here, this one and this one, these fists are the gripping fists. They grip this blade. So these are the fists that are meant to hold the blade. As you can see, they're slightly opened in the center. On the top of the hands, you have the bones. You have some slightly tanned, a darker tan paint job on the top of the knuckles. Look at the fingernails. Nice, right? Let's look at this one. It's pretty cool. The little things, you know, the fingernails, really nice. So these are the other interchangeable hands. These are the open hands, and the paint job is really good on this hand, on the right hand. This is a defect that I just saw on the left hand. It's not as darkly shaded as the right hand. You can see that there's different tones of flesh in his right hand, and you don't really see it that much in his left hand. But again, you can see the fingernails really nicely sculpted. This one too. You can see the fingernails, and you can see the lines and wrinkles in his hands. But again, this one appears to be, the paint job on this one appears to be more finished than this hand right here. So this is his other face, and this is, I guess, his pissed off look. This is his angry face. So check out the paint job. So right here you have, like, on the mustache, you have white that goes at the ends. It kind of gradiates into like from like a lightish like bluish gray until like a deep gray and like a slight blackish gray, and the same thing on this end over here. So it's really nicely painted. And if you see the top of his head right here, this is where the bandana would sit on this piece right here, and there's a ball joint on the neck, and it pops in right there, so it comes off easily and it pops in really easy too. So these are his two smaller shock effects, and they are really nicely painted. These are very fragile, so, like, you know, be careful not to like break these or anything. Another thing, there's indication on these telling you which hand it's for. So right here you see the letter L, and then you see the letter R on this one. So on the right side, you see the R right there. And on this one, you see the L right here. You see the letter L right there. The hands are on the blast effects. They're not so easy to put on. You have to basically not just press them in. I'll show you. So first you want to put it in like this. Just put it in like that, and then you want to slide it in like that, and that's it. Don't press it in. Don't push it in. Lay it in. Again, I'll show you. Lay it in like that, and then just go like that, and it fits right into the groove. So these are the bigger shock effects. Let's take a closer look. Okay, so you want to be careful with these. These are very delicate. They have very fine, sharp edges, easy to break. This one is the left, this one is the right, and I know that because, well, look, using this tool here, I recommend you use something really flat and small and sturdy, because these things do come off. You can remove them, but you can't remove. It's going to be really hard to remove them using just your hands, just your fingertips, because you might break it. So I recommend you get, something like this. Slide it underneath it and give it a little, pry it underneath and give it a little push like that. Now, I pre-loosened it, but at first it was really, really tight. So get something like maybe a small like butter knife or something. And again, just like with the other ones, with the other smaller ones, this has an indication too telling you that this is for the right. See, you see the R right there, and the other one tells you it's for the left. All right, so I put the fists on them, and again, you want to place them in the same way you did with the smaller ones. You want to slide them into the groove. Don't press them in. Okay, so they're nice and firm in there. They stay in there. They stay put. Now I'll remove, since it's already loosened, I'll remove this one, the right one, just like this, and apply the other one. All right, so now I just put it in there nice and easy. So knuckles down, punching straight into the ground, and attach smaller shock effect attached to the bigger shock effect. And this one here is on the side of his fist. This is for like you see in the box. This is for him just punching the air with the side of his fist. And again, they're nice and tight in there. So this is his coat. His coat is pretty big. It's about, I just measured it, it's about 8.5 or just over 8.5 inches in height. Nice tattoo on the back. You can see it has some nice drapery on the back here. Nice shading, grayish, bluish shading. Depending on the lighting, it changes shade color. The jacket is on 3 flaps, so check it out. So this is flap number 1, it flaps up, and then it has 2 other flaps right here. It flares out like that. So this is the inside of the jacket, and it looks really cool. Nice. There's nice indentations in here for the folds, and there's a really nice. They did a really nice job at putting in this like leather, like gator skin pattern. Let's take a closer look at that. A nice leather or snake skin or gator skin effect. Okay, so right here you can see right in there, that's where the flaps are connected to the shoulder piece of the coat, and it's screwed in, but they do pop off, and they're very delicate, but they do pop off very easily if you apply too much force, but you can pop them back in gently. Now looking at the tassel, on his shoulders, on the shoulder piece of his coat. They're individually sculpted, and there's a lot of nice detail put into it. It's like a goldish metallic paint job, nice shine to it. The same yellow color is used on the lining of this pad here, and also on the lining of his collar. You can see right there, all around the lining of the collar. The same metallic yellow is used on, I guess, on the lining of the coat, going down the bottom edge of the opening of the coat where it splits. And the buttons are nicely individually sculpted and painted. Over here too, there's a flap right here, nicely sculpted, black button painted on. The other one has the same, you can see right there. You have the loops painted in that same metallic, like goldish yellow paint, and individually sculpted. So yeah, he's pretty heavy, especially with the coat. Once you put the coat on, he becomes very unstable, so please be very careful. If you have access, or if you have a display stand, I recommend you get a display stand, because this jacket adds a lot of weight to the figure and it makes him a little bit unstable. So here he is with his coat and with his blade in hand. This figure is worth every penny. Things to be aware of. Okay, and number one, be very careful with his face. Be careful not to drop it on the tips, especially on the tips of the mustache, because they can easily break off the points on either end of the mustache. Okay, tip number two, when you want to mess with the blade and you're trying to figure out for the first time how to apply the grip hand, pull this piece at the end off. Okay, on the big shock effects, remember, if you want to remove the smaller shock effects, use something small and thin and flat to pry it off, and go gentle on it. Okay, so this is my most important warning right here, and please pay attention to this one. You see this right here, this is the ball joint for the wrist, right? So it moves, you know, it moves in and it moves out. But as you can see, the way it's been put together, it's halves. See that line right there? That's where it's split. And the peg right here where you pop the interchangeable hands onto, so if you were to pop this on, right, this hand or the other interchangeable hands, it's on a half of a ball joint. So it's not very, it is sturdy off, you know, when you take it out of the box, but I think years of, or just, you know, time spent changing the hands, you could snap this piece off, because it doesn't look like it could withstand years of, you know, abuse. So be very careful with this, okay? So do not go too hard or apply too much force when you're changing your hands, and when you're actually moving the direction of the hands, be very gentle with this part right here. So here he is with fellow characters Ace and Chopper standing next to him. All right, that about wraps it up. Thanks for tuning in to Miles and More. Please like and subscribe. For those of you that are interested in the Mugiwara shop, the One Piece shop in Shibuya, or any other part of Japan, I've left some links below. And for those of you who want to try the savory, magnificent food at Mobo Moga in Shibuya, I've also left the link down below. So everyone, thanks again, and until next time.